I'm Fraser Keir, Birkbeck's Academic Registrar, and I'm really delighted to welcome you to Birkbeck's virtual graduation and to take this opportunity to congratulate you on reaching this milestone in your studies. We know it's been an incredibly difficult year for most of you because of the global pandemic. I'm really pleased that you've made it here today to celebrate and to mark your fantastic achievements alongside family, friends, and of course your fellow students. We know that today will be different to our usual in-person graduation ceremonies, but we have worked hard to ensure that it mirrors the spirit of them, and we hope you'll feel it does. We'll also be hosting in-person celebratory events for you so that you can meet your classmates and lecturers once it is safe to do so, and we'll let you know more about these at a later date. Before we start today's event, we have some housekeeping information for you. Please keep your microphone muted until the round of applause after each group's names are announced. We hope you will take part in giving a big round of applause to celebrate our graduate successes at that point. Now, you should be able to change the screen on the device you're watching on today. If you can, we suggest putting your screen in presenter view to view all the videos and live content in full screen. You can select gallery view if you want to see everyone in your virtual room, but this will make the videos appear smaller, and if you're watching on an iPad or iPhone, you may need to scroll to another screen to see everyone in your group. I would like to remind you that today's event has been recorded, is currently being live streamed on YouTube, and the recording will also be made available after the event. We'll start today's event with some messages before moving on to the awards. Thank you very much for taking part, and I hope you will enjoy it.
Welcome to this graduation ceremony, in which, above all, we celebrate the achievements of you, our graduates. Those are the words with which I begin my address under normal circumstances when we have in-person graduation ceremonies in the Senate House of the University of London. But I think they're even more true today, that we have even more to celebrate. Normally, we celebrate the achievements of our graduates, very many of whom have juggled their work place opportunities, juggled that with their family lives, and juggled that with their studies. But you, our graduating class of 2021, have had to do so much more. Perhaps you've had childcare issues or homeschooling. Perhaps you've had health issues, or perhaps simply the Wi-Fi didn't work very well in the place where you were trying to listen to online tuition. But nonetheless, you have come through all that and you have successfully achieved your aims. And today is about congratulating you on those achievements. And that is why I have chosen to speak personally at all the graduation ceremonies in order to ensure that I speak to you in as personal a manner as I possibly can. I also want to send a message to the relatives and friends and partners who are listening on YouTube. Thank you so much for all your support for your graduate. Perhaps you had to deal with the children, or perhaps you had to give up the laptop and the kitchen table so that they could do what they needed to do in terms of their studies. So thank you. But also a message to you. Birkbeck is for everyone. You too can study at Birkbeck. Seize back the laptop and the kitchen table and come and study with us, hopefully in person. And even more so in person, I hope to be able to congratulate you on your degree success in a couple of years' time. So think about that. Also, of course, thanks to the magnificent efforts of our staff. They really went out of their way to get our lectures and our other teaching online in an emergency situation 13 months ago. Many of them spent their summer working on courses to try and develop their teaching so that we offered the very best online service that we could in the 2020-21 academic year. And now, of course, that process is attracting large numbers of students. We had record enrollment for 2020-21 and even more applications this year for starting in October 21. And that is because clearly people realize that post-Brexit, hopefully post-pandemic, they need to think about new job opportunities. Maybe they need to change their career, or maybe they need to develop it where they're working and make sure that they're retained while others perhaps are let go. And we are offering, Birkbeck is offering that sort of course and that sort of opportunity for you to develop yourself and make sure that you have all the skills that you need. That has never been more necessary. And we ask you as our graduates to join us in urging government to take full recognition of lifelong learning. Government has indeed thought about this. It's proposed introducing a lifelong learning allowance for the very first time, but only from 2025. We need to argue that action is needed now. Post the pandemic, post Brexit, people need to be trained to fulfill new jobs. We need to have loans in place for short courses at university level. We need to end the iniquitous rule whereby if you have one degree, you cannot obtain a loan for a second first degree in order to make sure that people can retrain. No longer is it true that you do your undergraduate degree, perhaps you do a master's, and then you go and work in the same business or the same profession for 40 years until you are given your gold watch or clock at the end of it. Today is much more flexible, and the university system needs to adapt to that. A few years ago, I went to a meeting of business leaders, and when I came in and was introduced, one of them said to me, Birkbeck, he said, whenever I see Birkbeck on a CV, I put it to the top of the pile, because your students, your graduates, have the commitment that I want in my business. That is true of you, particularly our graduating class of 2021. As you join the 65,000 alumni worldwide in 140 countries of Birkbeck, think about what Birkbeck has meant to you. Join in the Our Birkbeck scheme, in which you can put email in what you gained from Birkbeck and how you're using that to contribute professionally and to society as a whole. You have now joined the 198-year history of Birkbeck. Very few institutions reach the 200th anniversary, which we will reach in 2 years' time, but still fewer do it in a way that their founders would recognize. If George Birkbeck miraculously got through the online security proceedings and joined our graduation today, he might not understand about master's courses or about student loans or whatever it may be, but he would understand what Birkbeck is doing, because it's doing precisely what he set it up for, making sure that working people can fulfill their potential and develop their lives and careers. As we look back in the future years on the history of Birkbeck, people will say 2021 graduating class, that was a special class. They graduated under conditions of enormous difficulty and successfully achieved their aims. On behalf of myself and all at Birkbeck, I congratulate you and salute your achievements. Very well done. Thank you.
On behalf of the Department of Law, we'd like to congratulate you on this milestone academic achievement. Congratulations. Despite the challenges of this past year, we hope that this moment is one you will cherish. Please stay in touch with us here at Birkbeck and let us know what you go on to do after graduation. Again, congratulations from all of us. We wish you all the best in your future.
Well done, human rights graduates. You've been a wonderful group to teach, and I stand ready to advise and help you on your future plans.
As LLB Program Director, I just want to also extend my congratulations for graduating despite all of the challenges and obstacles that this year has provided you. Congratulations and well done.
Power off. Congratulations to all the LLM students. I'd just like to say that it's been an absolute privilege to teach you. Thank you for coming to Birkbeck.
Congratulations to the 2021 foundation year for your well-deserved success. Welcome to the LLB degree, and I hope to see you all again as LLB students in the years to come.
As Dean, I want to congratulate all of you on your graduation. And I'm also honored to say that Birkbeck will now be part of your story, and you will be part of our story as Eddie Bruce Jones said, we really hope that you will stay in touch with us and let us know how your lives and careers develop. All the best for the future.
Congratulations.
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 This is a short message from us in criminology, and we like to say it's great that you've completed your studies. Well done.
Well done.
Well done.
Well done.
It's great that you have graduated and you're going to be moving on. So congratulations.
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 And have a great day at your graduation. Enjoy.
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 Have fun.
Good morning, Vice Chancellor, President, and distinguished guests. I present the following graduates from the School of Law. With the LLM degree, Criminal Law and Criminal Justice, Uchenna Akabogu, Natisha Banga, Joanna Dawes, Violet Mukungu. With the Certificate in Higher Education Criminology, Anna Burlow, Marley Boutwood, Fiona Cook, Chantel Ewan, Nirmala Kahingalage, Lubna Mabruk, Arub Masood, Ujwal Nipani, Judith Njoki, Yasmin Parsons, Maria Valencia Hinkapi, Shante Williams. With a Master of Science in Criminology, Salma Almada, Rita Burlow, Claudia Daniel, Aaron Hidayat Brown, Jindika Obi, Dorcas Okunade, Ashundria Oliver, Tiziana Stagno, Carolina Zanesco. Congratulations. Please unmute yourselves and give yourselves a round of applause. Well done, everybody. Great to see you. Good morning, everyone. With their Bachelor of Science Honours Criminology and Criminal Justice, Muhammad Ali, Amonique Francis, Leila Juf, Dean McNeish Miller, Nick Panu, Alexei Petrov. With an MSc Global Criminology, Rakia Charles, Cristiano Pellegrini. With an LLM in Constitutional Politics, Law and Theory, Jamal Balok, Louis Gomez Pinto, Kieran Sullivan, Sofiko Vanzelli. With a postgraduate diploma in human rights, Jamastina Scott. With an LLM in human rights, Chloe Abel, Anna Asatiani, Yigat Beslieglu, Emily Bradley Glau, Claudia Yamu, Rebecca Kamara, Maharunesa Kahandeka, Almas Korotana, Andrew Leek, Sonia Lenigan, Rachel Lewis, Beatrice Lukauskate. Congratulations, everybody. Please unmute yourself and give yourself a well-deserved round of applause. Well done. Good morning. With an LLM in human rights, Berla Mlangira, Vanessa Mura, Jose Musa, Sawole Osifeso, Maria Padali, Fernanda Pereira Barbosa, Sherry Ralph, Filipa Romao Afonso Baptista, Clementine Simon, Thanawat Thomas, Chloe Thompson, Maria Trasa, Bianca Vai. With a postgraduate certificate in International Economic Law, Justice and Development, Nubik Van Nguyen. With an LLM in International Economic Law, Diletta Martin, Mercy Teko, Humud Al-Sabah, Maria Sol Canals, Kirsten Horsey, Federica Isaya, Augusto Trevisani. Well done, everybody. Congratulations. Please unmute yourself and give yourselves a well-deserved round of applause. Good morning, everybody. With a certificate higher education in law, Erika Birkbeck, Khadija Haji Aden, Zainab Hantabli, Taiba Mahmood, Colin Scott. With an LLB in law, Sophie Abu Suf, Muhammad Ali, Annika Alok Mathur, Elias Alvarenga, Sunday Anna, Sama Azmi, Shanique Barneswell, Aisha Butt, Skate Shianta, Sebastian Deal, Sumit Dillon, Hashem El Hurabi, Joe Ellis, Kyriakos Georgiou, Melwinda Gill, Sahibzada Gopang, Shakima Harris, Casey Ibirogba, Korega Igali, Ijema Iroegbu. Congratulations, everybody. Please unmute yourself and give yourself a well-deserved round of applause. Wonderful to see you all. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your graduation. With an LLB in law, Raja Khan, Andrew Leticia, Husnia Mahmood, Monica Maninda, Ella May Michalski, Shandini Parthiban, Saul Rimen Schneider, Alejandra Rodriguez Ramones, Nua Rohaisi, Humda Said, Margaret Salisbury, Shaim Shanua Shatoks, Musa Sidibe Diakit, Mariam Seaburn. With a graduate diploma in law, Venkesh Balasubramanian. With a postgraduate certificate in law, Krisanthi Anat Constantouris. With an LLM in law, Isaac Abraham, Francis Afram, Abdul Al-Raji, Suhair Al-Tra, Aida Almania, Joseph Barlow, Ravathi Band, Santosh Cavalho, Oliver Shinieri. Congratulations, everybody. Please unmute yourself and give yourself a well-deserved round of applause. Well done. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your graduation. With an LLM in law, Edwin Clifford Coop, Franchel de Freitas Chavs, Mohammed Dakour, Amanda Flanagan, Nikengai Forban, Anthony Fox, David Henderson, Emily Hilton, Muazzam Hussain, Arta Ivanovs, Nasa Khalaf, Stratiana Kolesnikova, Hamish Levick, Floyd MacDonald, Sarah Mayal, Thom Norman, Niall O'Brien, John Osijo, Vanessa Parek, Bombit Nuri Park. Congratulations, everybody. Please unmute yourself and give yourself a well-deserved round of applause. Well done. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your graduation. With an LLM in law, Eleanor Perry, Anna Rosenthal Mina, Seth Safo, Jan Scher, Rebecca Sparrow, Katja Trella Larsen, Kazi Tamana Trisha, Muzammil Usman, Ben Voller, Elizabeth Yashneva, Neti Yassin. I now move to the award of Doctor of Philosophy in Law with a thesis titled Delivering the Art of the Possible, the Work of Government Lawyers in the Making of Civil Partnership Act 2004 and the Marriage Same-Sex Couples Act 2013, Dr. Oliver Gilman. Congratulations, Oliver. With a thesis titled Legal Aesthetics of Poverty, Mediating Knowledge and Intervention, Dr. Moniza Rizini Ansari. Congratulations, Moniza. With a thesis titled Pedagogies of Justice, Critical Approaches to Public Legal Education, Dr. Lisa Wintersteger. Congratulations, Lisa. With a certificate in higher education legal studies, Mariam Akabuse. Toluwanimi Akin, Hada Amur, Sarah Burt, Omar Shehab, Sibel Ephraim, Annalisa Gale, Abraham Goldberger, Natasha Green, Jose Hernandez, Mosina Islam, Sharon Nicholas, Gada Osman, Daniel Pachebaf Shogi, Caroline Pisani, Shannon Ray, Hannah Sheen. Congratulations, everybody. Please unmute yourself and give yourselves a very warm round of applause. Well done.
Congratulations.
Good morning and welcome to your graduation. With an LLM qualifying law degree, Eleanor Perry. With an LLM in human rights, James White. With an LLM law general, Caitlin Saunders. Very well done. Congratulations. Unmute yourself and give yourselves a round of applause. Well done. This concludes the presentation of graduates from the School of Law. I now hand you over to my colleague. I want to say to everybody that this has been an extraordinarily difficult and challenging year, and we are immensely proud of your achievements. Very well done.
President, Vice-Chancellor, graduates and graduands, guests and colleagues. It is a great honour for me to welcome Professor Costas Dezinus to a fellowship at Birkbeck College, University of London. I first heard of Costas when I was doing my MA in Sheffield, the end of the 90s. A friend of mine had been to hear him speak and had a long photocopied manuscript, the text of the lecture, that he had spread out on the floor and was working over its paragraphs. I now know it was an essay that Costas wrote with his friend Ronnie Warrington that appeared as a chapter in postmodern jurisprudence. It appeared to be an argument organised around a pun, the name of the philosopher John Finnis, a pun about beginnings and ends, ends as beginnings, openness and possibilities. We stayed up long into the night arguing about it, and now, trying to make a beginning of this address, it strikes me as a good place to start. If there was a theme in Costas's work, then I think it is this: that the world is not frozen into the shapes that we find it in, that there is always the possibility of transformation, of things becoming different. This, though, is not an excuse to sit back and let things happen. Transformation requires work. I'm aware that I'm going out on a limb here, summarising a body of work that stretches over decades. I should say, of course, something of Costas's contribution to the academic fields in which he has worked: the field of human rights, philosophy, ethics, aesthetics, and legal theory. Contribution here, though, is a rather weak expression. It's relatively easy to contribute to a field. What I mean is that Costas has written the kind of book and the kind of essay that people actually read and argue over. Whilst Kenneth Tynan's boast that he was unable to love anyone who did not love John Osborne's play Look Back in Anger is a rather theatrical statement, it does give some sense of the charge of Costas's writing and its alchemical effects, the way it works with the reader, changes them. These effects are matters of both content and style, a style that performs its content, playing with, inviting the reader to think with the text, to join an adventure of ideas, to explore ways of acting, ways of thinking, and ways of becoming. As such, Costas's books are hard to classify, cross-cutting between disciplines and traditions, voices and ways of writing, philosophical activism, the joyous science of playful, hard thinking, a wild Mercury sound. This is writing that comes out of a life of engagement as an academic and as a politician. As an academic, Costas was a pioneer, founder member and later head of the Department of Law, Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Humanities, and then founder member and director of the Birkbeck Institute of the Humanities. But this is not just about the life of the mind. Costas's politics in two snapshots. It began early. He was involved in the resistance to the colonel's dictatorship in Greece. And then, in 2015, he was elected member of the Hellenic Parliament for Syriza, the coalition of the radical left. Costas was president of the Permanent Committee of National Defence and Foreign Affairs. Presently, he is the president of the Nikos Palansas Institute. So books are not just reflections on the world, they come out of action in the world. And as the world is always more than the book, it is always necessary to go back to the work, to act in order to reflect, to do, to write, fail again, fail better. As has been pointed out, Costas, as an Athenian, comes from a city that shares with Birkbeck College the totem animal of the owl that sees at night, that sees, as it were, swiftly and from above the shape of things, and sees things that the sleepers do not see. Those who look back in anger and look forward with hope, those who fly by night. Certainly for the philosopher Aristotle, the owl was associated with the night work of the philosopher, the work that is necessary for vision, metaphysics as the discipline of the night worker, a discipline that I'm sure Costas shares with those who are graduating today, those who know the value of hard graft, who know that academic honour is based on just that, work, the kind of work that you look back upon and think, that was valuable, that was worth it. So Costas's work as a philosopher, as a political militant, as an academic, and the way that we are honouring it today not only recognises Costas's achievements, but those who have spent the last few years achieving something worthwhile. Those who burned the midnight oil and know that in nocte concilium, night toilers who have worked the midnight shift, those up early see a new day dawn. For a scholar whose work is so intimately connected with Birkbeck, it is a wonderful thing that Professor Costas Dezinus has agreed to become a fellow of this college.
President, Vice Chancellor, graduates and graduates, colleagues and guests, I am deeply honored to receive this fellowship, and I am grateful to Professor Adam Gieri for his oration. He was the most brilliant of my doctoral students, and now one of the most original and creative scholars, teachers, and stylists. Next year, Birkbeck Law will celebrate its 30th anniversary. Has it changed much since the pioneering days of 1992, when 4 of us arrived at 16 Gower Street to set up the school? Yes and no. 800 people had applied for 65 places. The college had never come across such an embarrassment of riches and told us to develop our own admission criteria. We followed what we thought was the Birkbeck mission, and admitted a mix of graduates and non-graduates. They included a 70-year-old Irish aristocrat and a shop steward from Harrods, a libertarian bookseller, and a couple of directors from large companies, PhD holders, and highly motivated working and unemployed Londoners without formal qualifications. A large proportion came from ethnic minorities. They were, like this year's happy graduates, a typical sample of the Birkbeck law student. Those early days were pioneering and highly pressurized. The pressure was mitigated by long impromptu seminars, accompanied by bad wine at local restaurants and bars. Successes followed, and soon we acquired a reputation as the leading critical law school in Britain and internationally. The academic successes led to rapid growth. From the initial 3 academics, 1 administrator, and 65 students, to today's 45 academics, 15 support staff, and 1,000 students. The change is huge. But in another sense, the school has not changed much. The foundations of its identity laid in those early days are still here. When I started my academic career, colleagues from other disciplines had no interest in law unless they were buying a house or getting a divorce. This was a major cultural change. The knowledge and study of law has been historically a mainstay of intellectual life. But as Franz Kafka said of his own studies, reading law books is like eating sawdust. We had experienced that taste. Law teaching had become a formulaic knowledge of rules, which students should memorize and repeat without a reference to justice, morality, the higher vocation of law. Birkbeck Law, the best small law school in the world, helped change this. Jus vitam instituted, states a Latin maxim. The law constitutes life by bringing together its biological, social and political, and unconscious parts. Birkbeck helped recover this tradition. We place teaching, scholarship, and practice in its political, social, and moral environment. I used to welcome law students, saying that a law without justice is like a body without soul. This is the Birkbeck ethos. And something more, it is a fun place to be for staff and students. Not many law schools create such a strong sense of commitment and loyalty to our unique brand of education. I did other things over the years. I helped set up the Birkbeck Institute for the Humanities. I was the first Pro-Vice Master for International Relations, spreading the Birkbeck mission around the world. I wrote some books. They say that for those who write many books, only 2 are really groundbreaking. My The End of Human Rights, published in 2000, argued that in an age of human rights hyperinflation and rhetoric, their end, in the sense of their purpose or aim, is to resist public and private domination and exploitation. When human rights lose that end, their usefulness comes to an end. In the euphoria of the new millennium, the idea was considered somewhat counterintuitive, risque. Then came 9/11, Iraq, the financial crisis, the refugees, the pandemic. I am afraid the book has now become canonical, something I always try to avoid. In 2015, I became an accidental politician, as I entitled a book about my strange experience in politics after 40 years in the university. Setting up the law school and life in the college, however, remains my abiding achievement and joy. I want to thank the Vice Chancellor David Latchman, we had some tough and some fun times together. I welcomed him when he arrived. I think I helped him too. Now he sees me off. I wish him the best as the college reaches its bicentenary celebrations in 2023. I thank you all, particularly students and colleagues. I promise or threaten to be around for some time to come. It is a great honor to receive this fellowship.
Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to reach out to you like this on such an important occasion, your graduation. My very best congratulations to all of you on this very special day. Congratulations on having stuck it out, having completed your course and earned your degree. Well done to each one of you. Now, the pandemic, of course, is dominating our lives and continues to do so, and probably will do for some time to come yet. But not all of it has been doom and gloom. I've found time to read, and I've rather enjoyed reading poetry. There's a poem by Robert Frost you probably know, and I've read it again. It's called The Road Not Taken, and it begins, "Two roads diverged in a yellow wood," and it goes on to tell how he couldn't decide which of two beautiful roads to take, and he regretted that he could only choose one of them. It ends, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference." Well, I think that thought seems particularly appropriate at the moment, and in many ways, and for you too. The country has to decide which way to go about lockdown, about vaccines, about opening shops and restaurants, about letting us have holidays. And each of us now faces choices of our own, diverging roads in our lives. You are now facing such choices with the added excitement of having achieved something momentous in your life, your Birkbeck degree. The times could not be more auspicious for making such choices. That's your good fortune. Do you continue to work from home? Do you change jobs? Do you move to the country, away from city life, as many are now trying to do? Apparently, inquiries for buying homes in Cornwall has never been this high. Or do you attend to the more practical, important things of life? Do you consider what your future life will be like? What scope does your new qualification give you to make many of these choices? Might you change track, take up further study? I know, you could even become an artist. My programme, Portrait Artist of the Week, which ran on Sky Television right through the lockdown, had some 2,000 artists who came online to take part, a little like Grayson Perry, but perhaps a little bit more serious. And they were artists who worked at home all the time. That was their way of earning a living. They didn't earn very much. They worked in a shed and they were totally happy with what they're doing. So other lives do cast an idea for us on what might be possible. Now, I'm not suggesting you rush off and become artists, but what I'm saying is life has many different roads to take. Will you plan how you could live on less money? Will the employment you have be shifting, and with it your own options? There's never been a time more dense with options, with divergence in the road. And you are now faced with them to an extraordinary degree. There's something appropriate about that word, degree. So now, the whole crisis may, of course, have thrown you into despair. I myself had a couple of really heavy bouts of depression, prompted by the thought that this pandemic had stolen a year of my life. Well, depressions do pass if you're fortunate. And I'm now resuming the life I thought I knew. only to find that many things have already changed without my knowing it. The traffic routes through London, for example, are all different to what I knew before. So are the ways that people shop and the ways people eat. And that will be true of your life too. Whatever the future holds, this is the time for you to have a say in it, not just choosing for your personal life which route to take, but in your life as a citizen too. The future of education will be changing, and the way Birkbeck works will probably change with it. I think the way Birkbeck works will become more popular and more suitable for many people's ways of life. So spread the message, won't you? Tell them how you've enjoyed studying and what success you've had. Tell people around you about Birkbeck and how it tries to accommodate people's working lives so it can add value to them. Knowledge makes life richer, and yours has now become richer too. Congratulations, everyone.
Welcome to the Birkbeck alumni community.
You might be in the UK or much further afield.
It might be morning, afternoon or evening.
Wherever you are right now, we as fellow members of the Birkbeck alumni community want to send our congratulations to you for what you've achieved.
Completing a course at Birkbeck in normal circumstances is by no means an easy endeavour.
So what you have accomplished is really something truly special.
Today you are graduating, and you should take a moment to reflect what a huge accomplishment this is.
Completing your studies does not mean the end of your Birkbeck journey.
You are joining a community of over 60,000 alumni in over 140 different countries.
So no matter where you are in the world,
you won't be far from a fellow Birkbeck graduate.
There are lots of exciting events, activities, and opportunities for you to stay connected with Birkbeck.
Visit bbk.ac.uk/alumni
to find out more and update your contact details.
We are proud to share this day with you.
Have a wonderful time celebrating.
Congratulations.
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 Congratulations.